Welcome to Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly with host Nancy Becker on Global Voice Radio. Nancy and her guests will share tips and recommendations on moving forward in your life and business now and not waiting till pigs fly. Here's your host, Nancy Becker. Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to another episode of Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, where we have conversations on business processes and strategies to help the serious business person grow their business from point A to point B. And I'm really looking forward to today's conversation with Hannah Edwards. Hannah is from the UK. She's my first continental interview. I've done one with Carol Davies, and she's in Canada, but Hannah's from the UK, and she's had her own VA business since January of 2017. Recently, she relaunched Empowered Business Magazine, which is an online publication that shares the real life behind starting a business, as told by fellow small business owners who share their experiences. She has a background in customer service and has been given the tools she needs to ensure her clients get the best when she's working with them. Her experiences make the move from having a job to running a business and is also shared on her Global Voice radio show, The Roller Coaster Ride of Business. Hannah shares her experiences of being a business owner from the frustrating to the fabulous and has had many great people come on the show and share their experiences too. You can find her on Facebook at facebook.com, Empowered Magazine, or Empowered VA. Welcome, Hannah. That's a long bio. That's great.
You know, like when I was typing it out, I was like, this is really short. But actually hearing someone read it out like that, I'm like, oh my God, that is way too long.
I had to keep scrolling to get it all. But it was good information. And I am so excited to talk to you today. We had a conversation a few minutes ago, and there are so many things that you're doing that I've done too, and I'm going to really look forward to talking to you about all these different things. Let's start out with the VA business, because I was a VA long before there was ever such a thing as a VA. I was called, a secretary, heaven forbid, and then an administrative assistant, and now it's gone to VA. What does VA mean to you?
So obviously, VA being a virtual assistant, although I like to also be called a PA because once a month I go to one of my clients' offices and I help her out in there. So I'm not so much remotely working with her because we live in the same town and like I can literally pick up the phone and have a conversation with her. As opposed to, say, if you were my client and me being like, well, that's going to be a really expensive phone call, so let's schedule a Zoom session. But for me, it's being able to help people. I mainly work with small businesses who are at that point where they've got so much work to do that they need someone to do it for them, but it's that scary plunge of handing over the reins for them. And I'm just like, well, I've got the experience. I've got plenty of experience of stuff like that, because I even get nervous when it comes to like asking someone to do something for my magazine. I'm just like, oh, I'm handing over like a really big project. So because I know how they feel when it comes to me being their assistant, I can turn around and say, well, actually, I know how you feel and this is how the process is going to be. And it's meaning that with me helping them, they get to spend more time with their families. And there's just something in that makes me feel good.
What are the things that you do? I know VAs stretch from everything from creating websites to making phone calls to what are the things that you do for your clients?
It's such a broad spectrum, isn't it? Like now people tend to say I'm a VA and like you're there and you're like, well, a VA of what? So I do social media management. I will be given the information that the client wants, any events that they've got that they're doing or whatever. create their graphics and schedule all their social media, reply to any comments on there, let them know if there's anything important that they need to address and stuff like that. I do people's newsletters. They give me what they want and I put it all in the newsletter and schedule it to go out on the day that they want. I also go into my client's office, so I do her like mileage and stuff like that. So I do anything from like the really little tasks that are really annoying, but they've got to be done for your business. So like the tracking the mileage and stuff like that, because when you've got so much else to do in your business, do you really want to sit there and go, well, I went from this place to this place, so that's that many miles, and I went this place, when you've got someone that will do it for you. Because I've said it before to Denise and someone like that, I'm the weird one that likes the little tasks like that. Like for me, that's putting those jigsaw pieces in place, helping you take that next step in your business. Because if I'm doing those tasks for you, if I'm doing your social media and I'm doing your mileage and your newsletters, or I'm researching for a blog post for you, you can be going on and doing such fabulous things with your business that you're then up leveled to the next lot, that then like you're growing your business and in return helping me grow mine, because you're then going to need more support. And the bigger your business grows, the more support you're going to need. And if I've been there from the beginning, I'm working my way through with you, I get to watch people grow their businesses while I'm growing mine, and it's a really good feeling to have.
Absolutely. What's your favorite thing to do?
Probably the newsletters or the creation of social media, because it's something that I've created that, yes, it's for that client, but I know I can go on and I can look at like their page that it's coming up at, or I'm signed up to their newsletters so that I can get it through to my inbox to make sure it looks okay and stuff like that. And I'm just there like, I created that. It's that feeling of like proudness because it's something I've created.
Yeah, I know the feeling. It just really, wow, that's me. I've done that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. That's stuff that I can show other people, like when they're asking me what I do, and I can go, well, go and look at this person's Facebook page and you'll see. Or sign up to this newsletter and you'll see exactly what I can do. And like, although it's for the client, it's my moment to shine, because I'm doing those bits, I'm creating something fantastic that gives the client a really good impression onto their clients, and it makes me feel good because I'm helping them scale up their business. There's something there that I can use in my portfolio to scale up mine, and it's watching them grow while I'm like growing myself. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter if you've been in business for like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's really exciting to watch people take their business to the next level, because I know eventually that's going to be me. So I'm watching them get to the places that I know I'm going to get to, and I'm learning how they're doing it.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic. I know back when I started work, long before the internet, I was working on the internet when the only thing out there was AOL, and you'd hear the little, you've got,
oh yeah,
you know,
we had AOL,
and it was
the little chat rooms.
Yeah, the chat rooms were incredible. But it was when I wanted to do something, I had to figure it out on my own. There wasn't anyone out there to help me. And, I would spend hours digging through books and just sitting at the computer. And my computer that I started out with was called a K-Pro. And it was this metal box that had no such thing as a hard drive. It had 8.5-inch floppies, and the operating system was on one of the floppies. It was just wild. And it had this little bitty teeny tiny black and white monitor. I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm trying to do with all of this, what I know what I want to do, and I can't figure it out. So it's really nice to have someone that I can say, hey, Hannah, I want to do this. Do it for me, please.
Yeah.
I would know that I don't have to worry about figuring it out. You're going to do it for me. So that's great. If someone decided they wanted to work with you, and again, this is me, even though I had for years, I had my own VA system. I had 10 employees.
Yeah.
When it comes to me, wanting somebody to do something for me, I go, what can I do? What can I give them? How am I going to, I don't know what I want myself. Can you talk to someone and have them go through their steps of running their business and come up with a plan for them and say, well, hey,
Absolutely.
why don't I do this and let you do that?
Yeah.
How do you do that? If someone comes to you and says, I want you to work with me, but I don't know what to do.
So we schedule a Zoom call because it's easier, like obviously virtual assistant means that you're remote and working for people anywhere. I've had clients that are all over. But for me, I love it when I get to meet the people face to face. So I've had 2 clients, one I'm still working with, and another one that we parted ways last year. It was just one of those things that like it wasn't a bad thing. It was just the right time for this person. So we would meet for coffees and stuff like that. But at the beginning, so if you sent me a message saying, hey, I really want to work with you, but I don't know what it is I want you to do, we would schedule a Zoom call. I would have a list of things that I can do for you, but I will ask you about your business, and we'll sit. And although like my calendar schedules it at just over an hour, we'll sit for as long as it takes. Like, I mean, I could end up with like a really cold cup of tea. That doesn't bother me because I can always make a fresh one afterwards. But we will literally sit there and go through, and I'll be like, right, so tell me about your business. Tell me the areas that you're struggling in. Because more often than not, when they're going through and they're going, so I'm struggling in this bit, they're going, oh my God, but that's the service that you offer. So tick that on the list. So I will have a list of the services I offer, and I will tick next to like this realization that they've had of, oh, well, actually, I'm stuck in that bit, and that's a bit that I can hand over. And by the time they've finished talking to me about their business and describing the areas that they're struggling, we've got a list of things that they then want me to do. Because they're realizing it as they're discussing it. And all it's taken is for someone to sit there and go, well, tell me your business and the areas you struggle in, and I'll tell you if that's a service I offer. For them to actually go, well, yeah, I can offer that to you to do. I can get you to do that, and I can get you to do this. We end up with a list of stuff that we then create a package. So I do different packages, but I also do one that I do a trial one. So it's like 6 hours spread across the month for you to decide if you want to work with me. And then I do other ones that are like hourly ones. And then I have one that is a create your own. So if you want me to do 3 hours on your social media, an hour and a half on your newsletter, and you're going to send me over like access to your Google Calendar or whatever calendar it is you use, and you want me to track your mileage, and you like that's going to take me say like 2 and a bit hours a month, we create that package up so that it's then however many hours you need. If it doesn't fit in with any of my other hourly packages, with a list of what it is you want me to do, when you want me to do it by, and we'll always go through it. We always have a catch up every month to see, like, I mean, I go to my client's office, the one that's in Swindon, every month, do her admin stuff, and then we talk about any extra bits that she needs me to do. And any clients that are meant like I can't see them face to face, we'll have a Zoom call and a catch up and just go that way. Or even if it's just an email catch up, it's just like I will like fire off a quick email that says, is this going in the right direction, or is there something else that you need me to do? That's
great. How do you work with clients that aren't in the UK?
Again, Zoom, Asana, because obviously they can stick the tasks on me that they want me to do on there, and I can log in, see it all, check when I've done it. Again, Zoom calls, emails, Messenger on Facebook.
How does someone pay you, especially if it's not the same currency? PayPal?
Yeah. I mean, I know like PayPal gets a lot of flack because of their fees and stuff like that, and other people use other things. But PayPal is the one that you see everywhere. Before starting up my business, I'd never heard of Stripe or all of these others. And I'm just like, well, if I've never heard of it, do I really want to use it? Because I have, obviously on my laptop, I have my clients' details for different bits and pieces, logins and stuff like that. So I'm very strict on what I use. I would rather pay the extra fees and know that I'm going onto a secure site than find that my laptop's been hacked and all my clients' passwords, because I use LastPass, so everything is secure on there. But I still don't want to find that my laptop's been hacked and they've managed to get into my LastPass account and they're into my client's situation, like business and stuff like that, because that can then bring their business down, which is a really bad look for me, because I'm then obviously not secure, because I've gone on and used a website that someone's recommended to me but I've never heard of before. I'm always very security conscious when it comes to stuff like that, when I think about the fact that I'm working with other people's details.
Yeah, that's really an important thing, and that's probably one thing that new clients might be concerned about when they're starting to work with you. Well, how secure is my information? So
yeah,
that's great. And LastPass is
LastPass.
Okay. Because I'm looking for a new one to use, so I'll look into that one. That's great. So
it's free to use. It stores up as many passwords as you need it to, and it's really secure. It's fantastic.
Cool.
And I'm not an affiliate for it, so I'm not getting paid to say that.
There you go. Hey, everybody, you heard that. Check out LastPass. It's so important and I know just for myself, even for myself, I don't have a lot of other people's passwords, but I've just gone through, I had a computer. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. I bought a new one. I just got everything loaded onto that new one, and it crashed on me. And so I wound up having to take it back and buying an entirely different one. So in a matter of 3 or 4 days, I went through 3 different computers. And I'm going, what's the password to get into this? And oh no, that doesn't work. I know that's the password, and I changed it 6 months ago and forgot to write down the new, so it's always a good thing to have your passwords someplace where, your poor little brain doesn't have to try to remember them on their own. Yeah. So everybody keep that in mind and check that out. It's called LastPass. That's great. Thanks for that tip. Let's move on to the magazine.
Okay.
Because I know how important a magazine was to me and to my business, and lots and lots and lots of work. And you and I were talking about that a little bit a little while ago too. But tell us about the magazine. What's it called?
It's called Empowered Business Magazine. So when it was originally set up, it was aimed at women, purely because I was searching through, when I started my business, I'd got to that point where I was like, do you know what? I need to look for other articles of people that are in the same situation as me. So I'm there and I'm looking in, like, you type in online business magazines and you want to look at this, and you get Entrepreneur and Forbes and all the ones like that. And they're all the ones that feature the $1 million businesses. Like, I mean, there's a lot of flack at the moment because they've got Kylie Jenner on the cover as like the youngest self-made millionaire. And I'm just like, well, I'm not getting into that discussion because Forbes have clearly decided that she deserves to be on the cover. So people just need to sit down and leave it. There's nothing they can do to change it. So looking in all of that, and then looking at Facebook for different bits and pieces, the image that was being presented by all these people was like, wow, we're perfect and we've got our $1 million businesses, and we just woke up, had the idea one morning, and then the next morning all this money was chinging in its way into our bank account and stuff. And I was there and I was like, well, that's a load of crap.
You mean that's not true?
No, I'm still waiting for all that money to fling its way into my bank account.
Me too.
And I've been in business like since 2017. So the magazine took a hiatus while we wanted to take it into a different direction. And we relaunched January this year. And I took away the aiming in it just at women, because whilst I was looking at the other magazines and they were mainly featuring it was a male dominated area. I mean, even still now, like, it's something that really, it needs to be saved for another show, because we haven't got long enough for me to go into the topic of how I feel about magazines being male dominated areas and stuff like that, and businesses purely being male dominated. Yeah. So I was there and I was like, well, do you know what? I'm going to put in a group how many people would want this magazine and stuff like that. So loads of people wanted it. We started it up, and obviously where, like I said, we were just female oriented, we were cutting out those men that actually work purely with females, because they're like, well, obviously they just want female writers and they just want female readers, so they obviously don't want my business. So because there are a lot of men that do work purely with women, their clients are purely women. Maybe it's because they get on better with women. Like, I know men working with men can sometimes be a bit frustrating, because they're all like very, everyone's after the power kind of thing, and they all butt heads and stuff. And so women are, I find from meetings and stuff like that, and it's not fact, guys, it's just my opinion, don't lynch me for saying it, but women are more rational when it comes to stuff. They will sit there and they will plan it out and they will think it out. Guys want to see the reaction now, they want to know what's going on now. Women will go, okay, well, we'll do this on this day, this on this day, this on this day. So all those men, I was obviously cutting out. So January 2018, we relaunched, and we opened it up so those men could come in. My figures went through the roof. I've literally just hit triple reading figures, and I haven't even put the 7th issue out this year.
Wow, congratulations. That's great.
Thank you. And 2 issues ago, we had our first male cover, and that issue went through the roof. That was the one that sent us into the start of the triple figures. I mean, Denise has been on the cover. She writes monthly for us. The male cover that we had is starting this month to write for us monthly. So we've opened it all up. We're getting a lot of better vibe from it. I'm enjoying it more and stuff. It's like my little baby. I sit there and I watch it grow every month. Like, we've gone from single figures to double figures to triple figures. And on issue, they have a thing where it tells you how many impressions your magazine has had. So I mean, how many times your magazine has been on like someone's page when they've been looking at a magazine, and your magazine has been there as a suggested read. And I am over 4,000 on the impressions, and I've only been relaunched for, we'll say, 6 issues, because the 7th one isn't out yet, and I've already had over 4,000 impressions.
Wow, that's great.
So it's literally like watching my little baby grow.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that feeling. What are the topics that people write on?
So we have all sorts. I work with a couple of PR companies. They send me stuff, and they're the ones that are the, like, what type of telecoms is best for your business, how different things will affect your business. So they're all like I want to say like the official, like we have someone that's been writing on crowdfunding and stuff like that. So they're like our official topics type thing. They're the informative ones. And then we have a selection. So Denise writes, and she writes about, I'm going to say she writes about whatever she wants each month, because my writers, I don't limit them to a specific subject, because if I'm limiting them to a specific subject, I could be missing out on so much more knowledge that they know. Right. So Tim, when he starts, knows that as long as it's to do with business and it's to do with his industry, so he knows what he's talking about, we'll write about whatever he wants every month. And then we have people sharing their stories. So we've had people sharing how they've got out of abusive relationships, and that has triggered them to then start a business to maybe help other women that are in abusive relationships. We have people that have found that there was a problem with when they've been trying to feed their babies medication, so they've gone and they've started a new product to make that better, and they've told us all about that. We've had just people write about, well, I was doing this in my business one day and then I found something went wrong, so I've managed to re-strategize it and I've come up with this. And it's also, I woke up one morning wanting to start a business because that business bug had just suddenly hit, to I've been trying to run my business for God knows how many years and this is how it's going. like we don't limit the topics. Obviously, if there is something that isn't going to fit with the magazine, because obviously with it's empowered business magazine, we're trying to empower people, like, to know that yes, you can come from a domestically violent relationship to being a fantastic business owner, having found your wings and finding yourself again. And it's okay if you've found one thing and decided that you want to push that on and make that your business. Or even it's okay, like people will turn around and say, well, I've been in a slump for months and all of a sudden I've had this. And I'm just like, well, that's okay, because as I tell people on my show, it's okay to have those days where you're in a slump in a business, and the magazine likes to support and empower you with that.
That's great. That's super. Where can we find the magazine?
It's online, so you can go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/empowered magazine, and there is a link to every issue pinned to the top of the page. I will pin the June one to it when I release the July one, and you can go onto issue and literally type Empower Business Magazine in the search bar, or you can go to PayHip and type it into there and then download it that way.
Great. And when can we expect to see a magazine? If we, can you subscribe to it so that you get it in your email every month? Or
I don't have a subscription thing at the moment. It is something I've been looking into. I've been thinking about different ways of getting it out there. So I am looking into doing a subscription thing, and I'm looking into several years down the line getting it into print. So as I've said before, even if that means that I have to get all the magazines ordered, sent to my house, and I send them out individually until I manage to get it into shops, that is what I will do, because I am determined that within the next 5 years my magazine will be in print and in shops. So if that's what I've got to do to get it going, that's what I will do to get it going.
And there are, at least in the United States, there are distribution centers. And I know that I had my magazine, I would send the file, once the file was finished and ready to go, I would send that to the distribution center. They would actually print them there, and then they shipped them off to Canada.
So, oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm sure that, there are ways of doing that.
Yeah.
We can talk about it offline if you'd like to later, because
I've
been there and done that. Wow, so much that we could talk about for so long. Let's go move on to the next little area, and that is your podcast, because Hannah, as well as me, we both are part of the Global Voice Radio Network, and we both do wonderful podcasts. So tell us a little bit about your podcast, what it is and where we can hear it, and what's it all about.
So my podcast is called The Roller Coaster Ride of Business, because business is a massive roller coaster ride of ups and downs and, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? And we have people on there. We discuss all different things. We've discussed International Women's Day. We've discussed the fact that, Denise and I have spent time on one show discussing the fact that I have a top that says the future is female. Because for me, it is. Women are starting to find their feet in business. You see all the actors, the women that have suddenly jumped up going, well, hang on a second. Why is my male counterpart getting paid triple that I am? And that started off a whole gender equality thing, not just in America, where most of it has happened, but over here in the UK and in other places. And it's not just staying within the acting industry now, it's going into other industries, and businesses are suddenly finding that actually no, women want to be paid the same amount as their counterpart. So we discuss all of that bit, and we literally, it's anything business. I've spent time talking on a show called, like, one of my shows has been called When You Don't Want a Business, as in literally when you don't want to get up out of bed. And Denise and I discussed the fact that it is okay to not want a business, and it's okay to have a day or two or three, as long as you don't take too many that you forget your why and your reasons for doing it all. It's okay to take time out, and we talk about time management. because I'm not going to lie, even with everything I have going on, my time management is shocking. So
I think we all have problems with that. I know I do.
well, time management, it ended up being 2 shows. So there was me where I was discussing the fact that my time management is absolutely rubbish, and the tips that I've tried and failed at to make them more better. And then I've had a business coach on called Sarah Ankney. She's been on a couple of times, and she's written for my magazine, where we've discussed tips that she's found has worked, because she actually has a whole section on time management as part of one of her packages. So she's shared a couple of tips with us on the show on that one. It's on Wednesdays. For UK listeners, it's 8:00 at night on a Wednesday, which transfers into 3 p.m. However, you guys have all different time zones, so I'm just going to say 3 p.m. on a Wednesday.
And you can actually hear them once they're posted. You can just go on any of these websites and click on them at any time, right?
Yeah. And I'm loving the fact that we're now on Spotify, and we're on Spreaker, and we're on iHeart and SoundCloud, and like, although I don't actually remember all of them, we're on a lot of different platforms, and I'm loving it.
It's great. And I think it's nice that, you know, I might not be around at a time when it's actually posted. The first few of mine, you know, I sat there waiting, you know, okay, 5 o'clock on Thursday, where is it?
Yeah.
You're sitting there waiting for it to pop up, and now I go, all right, I'll go check and see if it's there, and sure enough,
yeah,
it is.
Like I did the same one. It was my first one, and it was like my introduction interview with Denise. I was there. I was like, oh my God, it's exciting. I told all my friends I've got this show, even though through a lot of the show, I say, through a lot of all my early days and on the show, I was saying, and I still find myself saying it now, because I'm still, when I have to do a solo show, I would still get that, oh my God, what am I saying? And then those thoughts that are going in my head as I'm talking, I'm like, so yeah, if you do this, and I'm like, I've just listened to that back, and if you took out all the other words, 15 minutes out of my 25-minute show will be the word
I've been there. We were just talking about that. Mine is and. I go and yeah, and it's just really interesting. I know that for me too. And when I was just getting started, I was before the interview started with you, I was looking back through some of my old ones, and I was so precise. I had it all written out, and I knew exactly what I was going to say, and I had the questions. And now we just talk, and I think it flows so much better. And if I don't remember to say something, oh well, it's not the end of the world.
I mean, when I first started, mine was a Google Doc, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't even know that you could do like a chat thing on Zoom where it comes up at the side. Yeah. That's how like terrible I am. So like when I first started out, I was there with like my Zoom page like minimized as much as I could get it, but so that I could still access the record and the stop, and my notes up. And I'm literally sat here, and because I don't video when it's me solo on my own, I will not video it. I don't want to see myself on my own on that screen. When I'm with someone else, it's fine, because I'm looking at the other person while I'm talking to them. But when I'm on my own, I'm like, do I sound like that? Does my mouth move like that? Like, and do I look like that? I really could have done something better with my hair. And then I find that I'm going completely off track, and I've missed about 4 paragraphs of what I was saying because I've been looking at myself. And it notices when you like when I listen back to my earlier ones. I mean, until I've mentioned it now, people never would have noticed. But if you listen back at my earlier ones, you can tell that I'm reading off of something, but then that my mind's wandering to something else, because I'm going, yeah, so if you've got this problem, you can do this and this and this. And then I start like wandering, and I'm going slower because I'm wandering, like, and then I go back to, yeah, so you can do this and this and this and this and and like now I will still have my notes. I make a couple of bullet points, and I sit there and I talk because I'm looking at a blank screen. and I've got the bullet points to the side, so it's not so much in your face, and I'm just like, it flows better. Like you said, it really sounds like I know what I'm doing.
I think we must be twins in another life, because
Absolutely.
boy, do we sound alike in everything we're talking about. So before we close, we're running out of time at the moment, but is there anything that we didn't talk on that you would like to share before we end the conversation?
I'm really trying not to say right now. So I think it's a case, I did it just then, I even noticed I did it. I think it's a case of, I like to tell people that, and I just done it again. I'm really noticing that I'm doing it now because we've been discussing it. But I like to tell people that they need to remember that being in business is hard, and it doesn't matter how many years you've been in it. It's still okay to have one of those days where you freak out. But as I said, I mean, you're going to be on my show on Wednesday. And as I said on the show, I sit and I evaluate my business every month. And I will take out the previous month's notes and I look at it, and anything that I didn't achieve, now I'm at the point that I don't beat myself up over it. In those early days, I was massively kicking myself and not getting things like spot on and stuff with how I'm phrasing my posts, or how I'm talking on my show, or how I've phrased something in the magazine. I look at my editor letter, and if I've missed something out that I really want to say, I'm like, oh well. Before I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that.
I know. I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but I'm going, yep, I get it.
But it's okay to have a freak out every now and then, even if you're 40 odd years in business, because with the way the industry is going at the moment, and with the uncertainty over Brexit and trade deals and everything that has literally been on the news, every time I've had the radio on or I've had the TV on, all I've heard about is Brexit and Donald Trump's visit and all these different bits and pieces, because he's been in the UK. Mm-hmm. He went to play golf in Scotland, bless him. But so there's a lot of uncertainty with our trade deals with America and China and stuff, because we are coming out. And it's okay to have a freak on if you don't know what's happening. But sit and evaluate and get a plan written down for how you are going to manage it if that does go in a bad way. And it doesn't even have to be Brexit. Like, your industry could suddenly take a slump, and you need to make sure you have an action plan to stay in place.
Yep, absolutely. Well, look at back in the United States, back in the 80s, when the whole internet bubble was going and then crashed, and there wasn't anything anymore. And now look at it's all back again. So really, really interesting conversation. Thank you so much for everything, Hannah. Tell us how somebody can get a hold of you if they want some more information, or if they'd like to work with you as with a VA or be on your podcast.
So you can find me on Facebook at Empowered Magazine or Empowered VA, or you can find me via email. It's empoweredvauk@gmail.com or empoweredmagazineuk@gmail.com. I'm on the Global Voice Radio page. I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram. So if you type in my name, Hannah Edwards, you'll find me on those. You can find me even my personal page on Facebook. If you find me on that, send me a message. It flings up that you've messaged me, and we can get things discussed.
Okay. And anybody can always put a comment down at the bottom of this podcast, especially if you're listening to us on Spreaker. There's a place for comments, and we'll make sure that Hannah gets them. And you can also always get a hold of me at nancy@don'twaittillpigsfly.com.
I love that name.
Thank you. I do too. My podcast is heard on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. And you can find me on Facebook at BSU Flying Pigs. So until we talk again, go ahead and subscribe, guys. We love to have you listening in to our topics and our conversations. If there's something that anybody would like to hear in the future, let me know. And until next week, we will talk to you then, and soar higher, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly with host Nancy Becker. Join Nancy every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Global Voice Radio.